Welcome to How to Translate Linear Functions. Make sure that you have your notes page that was given today during class because that's what we'll be using for this video. And also make sure that you have some grid paper so you can easily graph some equations. So here we go. Consider the equation y equals x. Complete the table of values. So on your notes page, you have a table of values, and it wants us to fill it in using the equation y equals x. So the first number is -3. Well, if y equals x, then y must also be -3. The next number is -2. Again, y is the same thing as x, so y is -2. When x is -1, y is -1. When x is 0, y is 0. Try to complete the last three numbers on the table before we continue. You should have gotten x is 1, y is 1, x is 2, y is 2, and x is 3, y is 3. The second question asks us to use the table of values to graph the equation y equals x. So here's our table of values again. You don't have to write this, but on your grid paper, you need to create a coordinate plane. So the first thing you have to do is draw two axes, an x and a y. Make sure to label them x and y and draw arrows on them because the axis goes on forever. Next, you need to write down your intervals. What are you counting by on the x-axis? What are you counting by on the y-axis? So on this problem, I'm just going to count by ones, and I'm going to mark every fifth line to cut down on some time. So I have 5, 10, and then 5, 10 on the y, -5, -10 on the x, and both the y. Go ahead and fill this out. You can hit pause on this video if you need time to make your graph. Once you have your graph made, now we're going to plot the points. So the first point is -3, -3. So I just plot that point, and so on. You should have lines or points that look like they form a straight line. We're going to go ahead and connect these dots because it makes, we're worried about all the values in between the whole numbers as well, not just the whole numbers. And then put an arrow on that line and write your equation to label the line y equals x. It's very important while you're doing this to make sure that you have a straight line. Take the time to get a straight edge, a ruler, or something like that so you can make this perfect. The next part of the notes say, in the previous lesson, a geometric figure was translated down 4 units. How did that affect the value of the x-coordinate of each vertex? And how did it affect the y value? So, here's a shape. And if we translate it down 4 units, it looks like this. And then if I label those points on my new shape, I get this. And yesterday in class, you should have noticed that when we translate a shape down 4 units, we subtracted 4 from the y-coordinates. So let's look at the A point, 1, 1. The y-coordinate on that is 1. So I subtract 4 from it and I get -3. So on A prime, I get 1, -3. Take a look at the C-coordinate, 9, 6. 6 is the y-coordinate. So I subtract 4, get 2, and C prime is located at 9, 2. So now it wants us to translate the graph of y equals x down 4 units. So we're going to do this on the exact same coordinate plane that we drew earlier on our graph paper. You do not need to redraw this. The first step here is to take each point and graph it or plot it 4 units down from where it was originally. Again, you're going to connect the dots with a straight edge and add arrows to the end of the lines because it goes on forever in both directions. Now we need to plot, or we need to make a table that shows our pink points where they're located. So here's my table. It looks just like my other one, but we're going to change the y values. So now if I go over -3, my pink point should be located at -7. When I go over -2, it's located at -6. Over -1, located at -5. Over 0, located at -4. And this goes on and on. You can see the pattern there. But I really want to stop and focus at 0, -4. What's happening to the x value to get the y value? So 0 minus 4 equals -4. Now, 0 represents x and -4 represents y. So instead of writing 0, -4, I'm going to write x and y in the appropriate places. So now I have an equation. X minus 4 equals y. And that should happen no matter what. Take a look at when x is 2. 2 minus 4 is -2. Make sure you're really good at your integers, okay? So whenever I label my pink line with the new equation, it's going to be y equals x minus 4. This is just the first example of many that we will work in class tomorrow. So hopefully you got all this down. If not, go back and rewatch the video.